Today our group will present the Farkle game project from the MATLAB.
My name is Jiankun.
My name is Vivi.
My name is Tom.
Right, let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you guys is the GUI we designed. Yeah, and Tom will take over.
Okay. There are two buttons. One is same computer, one is online. So you click the same computer button, you will be directed to the game page. There are two buttons. Online and the same computer. Yeah, just when I just click the same computer, you will be directed to the game page. It's a Farkle game, and you can choose different backgrounds. In case you don't remember the rules, you can always open the rules and see. There are so as you can see, there are row buttons, bank buttons, end buttons, and reset buttons. And when you click reset, it will display the game's score.
Right, I will take over here. Let me run you guys a very quick gameplay. And for the first demonstration, I've set the threshold for winning 500 points, which according to the game rule, it's 10,000 points. That for first demonstration. Yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna change the background to UC Davis first, and hit reset. We have the scoreboard. Start. Up the row. Once. Bank it. Row again. We have a 3 of a kind. Bank it. And the turn. And that makes player 1 wins. Yeah. And if you want to play it again, just hit reset. And now the points is zeroed, and you can click start to enjoy the game.
So first, I'm going to introduce the callback functions. The first one is the start and reset callback functions. When this button is clicked, an audio will be played and all the button will be on. Otherwise, if you click this button again, the button will be turned into reset. At this point, all the other buttons will be off and all the data will be cleared off. The second callback function is instruction. When this instruction button is pushed, an image will be shown, and this image is about the rules of the Farkle game. For the third callback function, the roll button function, when this button is clicked, there will be an animation about the dice, and when the animation is ended, the bank button will be on. For the bank button, if you click this button, an audio will also be played, and the data that you got, the score that you got from playing the dice will be stored into the table. For the fourth one, the bank button function. For the last one, the end button function. When this button is pushed, all the animation and all the other button will be off, and all the data will also be cleared out.
All right, guys, I'm gonna show the rest of the callback functions for you guys. Okay, the first one is the end button pushed callback function. This one basically. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you the rest of the callback function. The first one is dice button pushed from dice 1 all the way to dice 6. So these callback functions are designed to enable the use of those buttons. So if it's disabled, then we turn it on, and if it's turned on, we just leave it turned on. The second one is the DIY your battlefield drop-down value changed function. This one allows you to change between those 4 pictures as your background when you play the Farkle game. All right. Here's the functions we have, not the callbacks. The first one is we have dice numbers with zeros of the dice values and the dice roll and dice back values, and we set turn points to 0. And here we have an animation function, which this one enables us to show how the dice are rolling. So as you can see, the flip count is 6, and for index 1 to flip count, this means that it's gonna show 6 different images before it stops. So that's how the animation goes. And here we have the gameplay function. The gameplay function is a binding function with the Farkle function. So let me show you the Farkle function first. So the Farkle function determines if the player rolls a Farkle or not. When a player rolls dice and there's no ones, no fives, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, 6 of a kind, then the player has a Farkle and the turn score is zeroed out. And all the way here, right here is the same game logic as the get score function right here. The only difference is that this one uses points as the variable instead of turn points. So this one doesn't count towards the scoreboard. It just helps to determine if the player has a Farkle or not. So here, if no above combinations are found, then the points is set to 0, and the Farkle image shows up corresponding with the Farkle sound, and the function ends. We use this function in the roll callback function. So if points in a Farkle function is 0, then we run the gameplay function. So the gameplay function right here is we set the data of current player turn to 0, and playing the corresponding audio, and zeros are the dices, turn on and off the buttons, as you can see right here. And we do the same thing to player 2. And we have the get score function right here, which we first set all the turn points to 0, and then we zero out the num1, num6. And for the indexing from 1 to left bank index, which is the length of the dice bank, we have the following functions that helps determine how many of each kind of numbers that you roll. So for each 5, you have 50 points. For each 1, you have 100 points. And for each 3 of a kind, you have the corresponding points. And if you have 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, 6 of a kind, that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 points. And right here is the algorithm. For the player switch function, this function enables us to switch players. So if it's player 1's turn, after you hit the end turn button, it switches to player 2 and vice versa. And for this one, after the switching function, we set the turn points to 0 and see if any player wins. Right here for easy demonstration, we have set the threshold to 500 points, but you can always change it to like the original gameplay, which is 10,000 points. Yeah, and they will display the corresponding text and images. And here's the end game function, which activate if a player wins, which actually disable all the buttons. Yeah.
As you can see, this is our online mode for this project. There are 2 new buttons, the player 1 button and the player 2 button, and there's a new switch button for local and online. And this is the code for switch value changed, and this is the code for player 1 button, and this is the code for player 2 button. That's it.
So I'm gonna show you guys how the online mode works. For this one is already online. These are 2 different accounts, and you just hit start. Okay, and for this one, because this is player 1, because you choose player 2, you hit online, and it should grayed out. Yes, as you can see, this is grayed out. So this one is also online too. You hit reset, you got the keyboard, you hit start, then you join the game.